Offerings podcast, a show about cigars, friends, faith, and general tomfoolery. Do not take these guys too seriously. Now grab a stick, settle in, and let's set fire to foot. This is Burnt Offerings.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Burnt Offerings.
Hello.
I'm Patrick. I'm alongside my dear friends,
Stephen Cole.
And Ryan.
Except for I don't say my last name.
That's all right.
Steve.
We know who you are.
And we have a really fun guest with us today as well on the podcast. We have Drew Newman of J.C. Newman Cigars. Drew, thank you.
Thank you so much, Patrick and Ryan and Stephen, for having me on today.
Well, we love it. We love the J.C. Newman story. Personally, I love the connection back to Cleveland, being a good Midwestern boy myself. And we're excited to get into it. Let's talk a little bit then about what we're smoking, and then we'll get into who makes it. But Ryan, Stephen, could you share with us what are we smoking tonight?
Well, we got a fun stick here for this evening, the Bricktoberfest, the 8th annual Bricktoberfest from J.C. Newman Cigars. So a special Brick House cigar blend, specially crafted to complement your favorite Oktoberfest beer.
Which we've taken the liberty of our favorite local brewery, Uniontown Brewing Company, has an Oktoberfest.
And look, I got the mug.
Cheers, Uniontown.
So thanks, Uniontown, for giving us some Oktoberfest to drink with this.
Well, this cigar is just about as tall as I am. It's the Monster Churchill here at 7, almost just shy of 8 inches, 7 by 3/4, 48-inch ring gauge. Gorgeous looking Ecuadorian Habano Rosado wrapper, I believe.
That's right.
And
you got it.
So a beautiful reddish hue to it. Nicaraguan binder filler. So rather excited what kind of flavor profiles and notes we're going to get out of this.
So sweet tobacco on the sniff.
Yeah. Drew, you could tell this looks like it has 4 caps. Is that true? I've never seen a 4-cap cigar, or is it?
Oh, it should be a triple cap, but maybe the roller there got a little carried away and went around more time.
He made it special just for you.
We won't object if they make it extra special.
Yeah, no, I mean that's extra put together, a little pigtail on the end there. So
Yeah.
I'm going to guillotine cut mine today.
Yes.
good for you.
I'm not. I'm a be cut.
There's a little bit of a sweet tart on the sniff on the head and the foot there as well. This should be fun. I'm very excited to see how this pairs with an Oktoberfest beer as well.
And we have one.
And we've got one today.
Exciting.
So I know it's true for me. I don't know, Patrick, Stephen, have you guys had a brick house before? So do you have kind of an idea of where we're going a little bit?
Yes. I can't say it's been in the last 6 months that I've had a brick house.
Okay.
But yes, I've had a brick house.
The Brick House is my go-to favorite with a cup of black coffee.
Oh.
So this should be a fun journey with a different flavor profile to pair with. Drew, what should we know before we get into lighting and finding out? Is there anything that you'd like to share about this particular stick or tradition that you guys have blended up?
Sure. Happy to. And by the way, I should introduce my daughter.
Please.
4th generation. Eliza, her school is out this afternoon, and so she's here with me too. So you'll probably see her, and she'll join us at some point, I'm sure, as she takes breaks from coloring. But Brick House is a very special brand for my family because my great-grandfather, her great-great-grandfather founded our company in 1895.
Oh my.
And Brick House was one of J.C. Newman's earliest cigar brands. And the story behind it is my great-grandfather, her great-great-grandfather was born in the only house made out of bricks in their village in Austria-Hungary. So it was just known as the Brick House. And the second floor is where our ancestors lived. And the first floor was the local tavern, the general store, place where people came to eat, to drink, to gather, to celebrate. And so I'm sure being Austria-Hungary, people drank beer, smoked cigars, celebrated Oktoberfest. But when my great-grandfather came to America in 1888 and then started our company in 1895, he missed the old world. He missed the town where he was born. And it was such a contrast between that sort of pastoral, rural setting and the industrial age of Cleveland, Ohio. And so it caused him to create Brick House as a way to honor and remember the house where he was born in Austria-Hungary. So every time you open a box of Brick House cigars or see the stein that's in front of you, the house that's there was the house where my great-grandfather was born in Austria-Hungary.
Oh, I love that.
How did I not know?
Yeah, and Drew mentions these steins. So this year, part of the Brick House or the Bricktoberfest celebration is that if you buy a box of 10 of these, and they are, as we mentioned, these are massive Churchills.
Yes.
From the retailers that carry them, you'll get a stein as well, and
that's awesome.
Really kind of a fun.
They're all each stein is hand painted. It's a beautiful
It's
treasure.
Yeah, they're gorgeous.
Fully functional. You can pour that beautiful Oktoberfest beer
Which
that
they
you just shared in it.
Can I ask you a question though? Often, as we talk about different brands, different companies, the way they run, like you just told this beautiful story about the family in the Brick House line. Has it been continuous since your great grandfather started it, or did you
Yes.
ever stop the Brick House, say in the 1900s and whatever, and brought it back, or did you do anything like that?
So our company's been continuous. My great-grandfather started our company in 1895 and passed the business down to my grandfather, Stanford, who passed it down to my father, Eric, and my uncle Bobby, who are in the process of passing it to my cousins and me. So our company's been continuous, but there's always a ebb and flow of cigar brands. Brands have a life cycle.
Sure.
That they come and they go. And Brick House faded away right before World War II.
Okay.
And we brought it back in 2008, I believe, when we started rolling cigars out of Nicaragua again. And so it was off the market for a while, and then we recreated it and brought it back.
Let's get it lit and get talking.
While you light it up, I'll just share that this is not a vertical backdrop behind me. This is our cigar factory in the cigar city of Tampa, Florida. I'm on the third floor of our historic El Reloj cigar factory. This is our rolling room, and we've got our rollers behind me, rolling the American. That's on your cap, Ryan, rolling Angel Cuesta, and the Cuesta Shade over there, and then there were Tampa Smokers and Leroy Newman Cigars on this side. So it's a real rolling room. Cigars are being rolled and
That's exciting.
and banded and packed while we chat live.
First impressions, guys, here off the light as we get any flavor notes that you're getting as we're getting in.
Oh, I'm loving the spice that's just dancing throughout the entire palate right now.
Yeah, so that got me in the back of the throat, but it's really sweet on the front end. I don't know if this is because I drank a swig of beer a while ago, and it
Might be that malty.
sweetened up my palate, but
It's good.
beer while I'm doing this.
It's good. Drew, I think a lot of folks in kind of modern day cigar smokers probably don't know a lot of even about our recent history with cigars in America. Tell us kind of how the J.C. Newman story intersects with that, is a part of it, and really is kind of holding it up now on your end.
So cigars have been an important part of the culture and the economy of the United States since before the American Revolution. It was in 1612 that the first commercial crop of tobacco was grown and harvested in the Virginia colony, and it was that sort of development that made the British colonies successful and viable from an economic standpoint. And so from the very earliest days of the American colonies, tobacco was a huge part of the economy. And then at the time of the American Revolution, cigar tobacco was grown in all 13 colonies, and cigars were rolled and enjoyed all throughout the colonies. And founders like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, their farms grew tobacco. And so from the very earliest days of our country, tobacco has been a huge part of really the United States. And when my great-grandfather started our company in 1895, there were 40,000 cigar factories all across the United States. Every city, every town
Unthinkable,
had its own bakeries, its own breweries, its own print shops, its own everything, and its own cigar factories. And so it was a very important part of our country. Once radio took hold, and then later with television, brands could start advertising regionally and then nationally, and certain industries started consolidating in certain locations. And cigar industry consolidated here in Tampa, which was built literally by the cigar industry 140 years ago. And the cigars made Tampa world famous as the fine cigar capital of the world. And, at one point here in Tampa, there were 200 cigar factories that rolled 700 million cigars by hand every year.
What? Whoa.
The
The world consumed 700.
The U.S. consumed.
That was just for the United States. And
pretty much.
What time was that? What year?
It peaked in the mid 1930s. But put that number in comparison.
Wrong time.
We were born in the wrong era.
Yeah.
And well, also a nickel back then.
Yeah.
Right.
They were. And put that number in comparison, though. Last year, about 400 million cigars were sold in the United States. But a century ago, 700 million were just made here in the cigar city of Tampa. So it's tobacco growing, cigar manufacturing, huge parts of our economy since the country's earliest days. But because of a couple of reasons, the industry started to leave the United States, shift overseas to Latin America, starting the 70s and accelerating the 80s and 90s. And now this factory is the last traditional cigar factory still operating not only in the cigar city of Tampa, the last factory still rolling cigars in the United States.
Last man standing.
Yeah. Amazing.
Does that feel burdensome?
Maybe, but I think what it really feels to me is it's a privilege. Like, we get to keep this tradition alive. Here in Tampa, cigars are so important to our culture and our history that the community loves this industry and loves the tradition, is very supportive. And so we get to be ambassadors for the city of Tampa, sharing the story and the history of our community's origins. And it's really wonderful.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that summer heat, I think I'd move there today.
Yeah, you would die, Florida. You can't. You've got to visit. You can't live there. You would be in trouble.
November, December, January, February, March.
Yeah.
And then it starts getting hot again.
You just need to be a snowbird.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, just do all of the. Well, so let's talk about a little bit more about your family. You did say that Cleveland was where your great grandfather. By the way, Julius Caesar. What a great name. Let's just call that out, right? Like, what? I mean, who names their kid Julius Caesar in Hungary?
Well, he wasn't named that.
Oh,
this is great.
My great grandfather was Julius Newman, and he came across the Atlantic at the age of 13 in search of the American dream, like so many others did. And when he arrived at the port of Baltimore, he had his papers to process his immigration, and the immigration officer looked at his papers and saw that the middle name field was blank because he didn't have a middle name. And the immigration officer said, if your first name is Caesar, I'm going to give you the middle name. If your first name is Julius, I will give you the middle name Caesar. So my great-grandfather got the middle name Caesar when he immigrated to the United States.
That's wild.
Thanks, America.
Some things never change about America. Am I right? Like, America just meeting immigrants and giving them new names.
Yeah, we know better than you.
You are clearly a Julius Caesar.
What's funny about that story, though, is like the Roman emperor, his name was spelled Caesar, but the immigration officer spelled my great-grandfather's middle name as Caeser, misspelled it. We love it.
Off the bat, this is like it's got that warm spice that you were talking about, Ryan.
Yeah.
There's some good leather, not in the way that like a Maduro gives you that leather, but almost like I would use the same word, like warm leather. It's good.
Yeah. Well, and so I am imagining a Rosario wrapper is similar to a Corojo in a sense, maybe, because this kind of has Corojo remindings.
You're getting
to me.
tastings of that?
Yeah, a little, kind of that earthen leather sweetness.
Yeah,
that I
Drew,
really
tell us
like.
about the source on those wrappers.
Sure. So the Rosado color is simply a sortation of the leaf, and the Rosado leaves are simply sort of the leaves that have a red hue in them as opposed to a darker brown hue or a green hue or a yellow hue, which hopefully you'll never see on a cigar wrapper. But those leaves become binders. But rosado is simply the reddish hues that are naturally formed in certain tobacco leaves.
Yeah, flavor off the top is great, especially for my palate of, and again, I like a Nicaraguan cigar, a little more leathery, spicy. I like that a lot. I also, what I'm appreciating thus far about the cigar, a lot of smoke volume. And we've talked about that before on the podcast. Yeah. Sometimes when you have a thin smoke cigar, you feel like you got to work harder for it or you're not doing much with it. But this cigar is putting out volumes of smoke and it just feels right. So
it's the combustion. I mean, the tobacco's been aged. It's ready to burn. The humidity is right. It's not. Sometimes cigars can get a little wet. Too much humidity in there, and they're spongy. They don't burn very well. Don't produce a lot of smoke. But I'm so glad you're enjoying it. And I can talk to you with as much detail as you want about the tobacco and the craftsmanship and the struggles we have making cigars. But none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that you like what you're smoking. If you don't like what you're smoking, put it down and light something else up.
And we have definitely an eclectic set of palettes here.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we
but
do.
Speaking of that, what did you do different in the Bricktoberfest from the Brick House to get it to pair nicely with this beer? Because let me tell you, this is my favorite part of this cigar.
Yeah, it is pairing
I'm pairing really well with this Oktoberfest beer. So what did you do differently? So how is this different than a regular, if I would just got a Brick House that I go to my shop and I find a Brick House?
Yeah, so the blend's a little different in two ways. First, the tobaccos have extra age on them. We buy tobacco once it has been grown, cured, fermented, sorted, and let it age between 3 and 5 years. This is the tobacco that you're smoking is more than 5 years old, so it's got extra age. I can talk about what that does to it, but it really just elevates the cigar. And then the blend is tweaked. It's got a little heavier tobacco in there as well from the Jalapa Valley in Nicaragua, and so we took the filler up a notch and just added more age to it, which just helps really round out the flavors and make it flavorful but not overpowering. And so hopefully it should pair well with most any beer.
Yeah, this is not a strong cigar in terms of being over. It's very smooth. It's very well balanced.
Yes.
It's the age.
Yeah.
That's the age. If you smoke that tobacco raw, you would feel it.
I'm sure. Challenge accepted.
But Brick House is designed intentionally to be accessible to most cigar enthusiasts. I mean, I'm sure all three of you have very developed palates, and because of that, you might skew more to more fuller-bodied cigars because your palates have been trained in that way. And we make plenty of full-bodied cigars, but Brick House is supposed to be right in the middle, a cigar that's accessible to casual cigar enthusiasts, but also still enjoyable by real connoisseurs like you guys.
Yeah, I remember when the Brick House first came back out in the early 2000s there, and I was still pretty new at that point. I was actually pretty afraid of the Brick House, and I don't remember what it was. I don't know if somebody had given me some information that might have been a little like it's a stout cigar and whatever. And I remember smoking one the first time and thought, okay, I'm not totally ready for that. And then came back to it a year or two later, and it was completely changed. I'm like, wait, this isn't this. This is not a challenge. It's very agreeable for kind of your everyday cigar smoker. But I was a little upset that I stayed away for a couple of years after that initial one.
Tell us about the blends, Drew. Who does the blending for you? Was this blended down in Nicaragua? Do you have folks on your staff that do that?
We all do it. I mean, Brick House was blended in probably 2007. So the blend that you have is well established, and our fight with Brick House is simply to maintain the blend and keep the consistency. But blending is one of my favorite parts of the process because it gives us a chance to play with tobacco. Let me take you on a little tour. Eliza, you stay right here.
Oh boy,
you stay right here. Don't come right here. So up here, you guys should come down and visit us in the winter.
We're coming, Drew. We're
listen,
coming.
you don't know how.
Well, we can do a
important-
show from here. We can do a show with you from here.
We would
But
love that.
here in our rolling room, we've got a display of 24 different types of tobacco.
Oh my
We've got
wow.
six wrappers and 6 binders and 12 different types of filler.
Okay.
And we put this display together just to show how different all of it can look. It's all tobacco,
Yeah.
but when you see a cigar with a band on it, it's just a brown cylinder. It hides the fact that these are blends, and we can take leaves from Ecuador or Brazil or Pennsylvania, Indonesia, Cameroon, Mexico, Nicaragua, and even the same varietal, the same seed type, grow in a different location, in a different country, different soil type. It creates different types of flavors, and so our one of the most favorite things for us to do is to be able to play with the different types of tobacco and blend them together. Many consumers are attracted to limited editions, new releases, special product like that. As a cigar maker, I'll tell you, it's very easy to create 1,000 or 10,000 cigars of one type and roll them, pack them, ship them, and they're out the door. That's not hard. What's hard is what you're smoking right now. What's hard is a brick house that was blended 17 years ago, 18 years ago, and getting that cigar to taste the same way today as it did 10 years ago, 17 years ago.
Sourcing becomes your problem. Making sure you have that same set of inputs every time.
Exactly, because what we have to control for is Mother Nature. Mother Nature, who might deliver more rain or more wind or different climate conditions on farms from year to year, and so we have to make minor adjustments to the blend each year, and blend tobaccos for multiple years into brick house in order to just smooth out any changes in taste. I mean, the skill of a cigar maker is not creating a limited edition 500 box run. That's easy. The skill of a cigar maker is making sure a cigar like Brick House or many others taste the same way today as they did a decade ago, and will taste the same way 10 years from now as they do today.
This may not be a fair question for you, Drew, but we mentioned at the top of the show, this is the 8th year for the Bricktoberfest. So it's kind of a newer celebration of sorts that you guys are doing. This is a limited edition. From year to year, is the cigars blended to be a unique cigar for that year. So this is the 8th iteration of this. Do you have a favorite Bricktoberfest of yours personally? Was there a year that you're like, that's the one I like?
This one's the best one we've produced so far.
All right.
Oh. Well, that's the right answer. That's amazing.
And I don't normally like people that normally smoke cigars
super good.
that long. It's a thinner ring gauge than we've rolled in the past few years, and the ratio to wrapper and filler, it's excellent. This is my favorite, our Brick House Bricktoberfest cigars.
Nice.
So this will take us a hair off of the Bricktoberfest. But okay, so we are a part of a faith group of people, and in your American, that my good friend, who I can't see in the picture anymore because it's moved away.
Yeah.
Speak.
He'll be back when he talks.
Yeah, when the owl
Okay,
picks me up.
there he
Well,
is. So your American is all American tobacco,
Right.
and if I understand this correctly, you're getting Pennsylvania into that mix.
Yes.
And we have been told, we have read, and I want to know. Did you really source this from a group of Mennonites in Pennsylvania?
Oh, absolutely. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so
The
excited
Mennonites
this is
have been-
true. Say
The
more.
Amish and the Mennonites have been growing tobacco in Pennsylvania since the late 1600s. I mean, that's where the term
bless 'em.
stogie comes from. It comes from
No way.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania, from the Conestoga wagons that were taking settlers out west to Pennsylvania.
Interesting. Our fine group of people had a is it Conestoga? Is that what?
Yeah, we had a congregation.
We had a congregation in Conestoga back in the 1780s or whatever year,
late 1700s.
Yeah, so that's amazing. You told us that. I was like, surely that's true. We were in Pennsylvania a couple of years ago, and we thought to ourselves, we need to go find those guys.
We need to find them.
We didn't.
Right.
We didn't figure it out. But
It's great. It's all concentrated around Lancaster, Pennsylvania, a little northeast, and it's great. It's these Amish and Mennonite families who've been growing tobacco for generations, and the way they grow tobacco is so interesting. They're very small farms, maybe 6 or 8 acres, enough for the parents and the kids to grow each summer, and enough to fill their one barn. And so they're very small operations and without any mechanization, and it's something really special.
Drew, if you would be game, we would love to put you in our hot box. Just kind of a couple minutes of rapid fire questions that may or may not be particularly cigar related or whatever. And feel free to plead the fifth on anything. But if we could, we'd like to throw you in the hot box here. And to get us started, a question that I have for you is, when did you first start smoking cigars yourself?
Oh boy.
Right before I turned 19. It was a Cuesta number 47, a cigar we don't make anymore. It was a beautiful cigar, and I lit it up with my dad.
What's one of the more significant challenges facing the cigar industry today? There's
so many. If you look at our company's 130 years of history, at least 100 of them have been very hard, challenge years. Which one should I identify? I would say government regulation is always a challenge right now.
Yeah.
And it's not, I would say it's not an intentional act by a government to target premium cigars. It's usually well-intentioned people trying to address like youth usage of vapes or other types of tobacco products. And we get lumped in with everybody else. And it's a mess.
Favorite non-J.C. Newman cigar?
It would certainly be one of our longtime partners, the Arturo Fuente family cigars. I
can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong. Been enjoying them for decades. And
talk to us then about family business. Obviously, grandfather, father, great grandfather. Tell us a little bit of the story and the connection with the Fuente family, with Carlito, and even further back. How did that happen? What is that kind of partnership, and what's that look like today as well?
So Tampa was the fine cigar capital of the world. More cigars were made here in Tampa than anywhere else. If you wanted to be in the cigar industry 100 years ago, you were in Tampa. But beginning in the 70s and accelerating in the 80s and 90s, one by one, the factories started to close and move overseas. And in the early 80s, there were only 5 factories left still operating in Tampa.
That sounds a little.
J.C. Newman and Arturo Fuente were 2 of the 5, and Carlos Fuente Sr. and my grandfather Stanford Newman were friends for decades. And in 1986, actually, it'll be Valentine's Day of next year will be the 40th anniversary of this. Carlos Sr. called my grandfather up and said, "I'm moving to the Dominican Republic. I'm going to open a cigar factory there and start rolling cigars there. Will you, Stanford, roll the cigars I've been making in Tampa for me in Tampa? Because I won't be here to do it any longer." My grandfather said, "Of course, be happy to roll your cigars for you in Tampa, but will you roll cigars for me in your new factory in the Dominican Republic?" And they shook hands, they agreed, and we've been working together ever since.
Fuente Cigars, I don't know that they're all Dominican just because the factory's in the Dominican. Is it where the factory is? Is it the blends of tobacco leaf that come together? How do we understand what's a Dominican, what's Nicaraguan?
That's a great question. I mean, there's been a long-standing sort of perception that Dominican cigars taste one way, Nicaraguan cigars, Honduran cigars taste a different way. And I mean, simply put, it's usually Dominicans more mild and creamier and smoother, and you have more of that strength coming out from Latin America and Nicaragua and Honduras. It has nothing to do with where the cigars are rolled. Mm-hmm. It has everything to do with where the tobacco is grown and the types of tobacco that are used. At our factory here in Tampa or in Nicaragua, we can make a cigar that fits the Dominican profile. That's not hard. And in the Dominican Republic, it's very easy to roll a cigar that tastes like Nicaragua. What it is simply the tobaccos that are used. Historically speaking, factory used tobaccos that are easiest for them to obtain. So Dominican factories historically have used a lot of Dominican tobacco, Piloto Cubano, and others that are a little lighter bodied, a little creamier, and then by the same token, Nicaraguan factories use a ton of Nicaraguan tobacco, and the volcanic soil there, the mineral-rich volcanic soil, just creates leaves that are heavier and more fuller flavored. And so just by the location where the factories are, they tend to use more tobaccos grown in their countries, and that has create a perception that of associating a flavor profile with a particular country of origin, but it really has nothing to do with where the cigars are made, but rather the tobaccos that are predominantly used.
You've done some advocacy and some work around Cuban tobacco, and I've been hankering to ask you about. Paint us a quick picture of kind of Cuban tobacco in America pre and post embargo, and kind of your work around that. Given that you guys are really the last American standing here on that front.
So Cuba's a really interesting subject, and my family used a lot of Cuban tobacco from 1895 until the embargo was signed in 1962. And here in Tampa's 100 years ago is where the cigars were made, and Cuba is where the tobacco was grown for Tampa.
Okay.
100 years ago, more cigars were made with Cuban tobacco than in Cuba itself. And so there's always been a direct connection between Cuba and Cuban tobacco in Tampa in the United States.
So a quote unquote Cuban cigar pre-embargo did not mean it came from Cuba. It meant that the tobacco came from Cuba, but it could have been rolled anywhere.
And Tampa cigar factories used predominantly Cuban tobacco before the embargo. And then overnight, President Kennedy signed the embargo, banned us and everybody else from importing tobacco from Cuba, and sent the industry into a panic to try to find alternate sources of tobacco and change production. Today, we sell Brick House and our other cigars in about 80 countries around the world, and in all but the United States, they're on the same shelves as Cuban cigars.
Yeah.
And it's only here in the United States where our government says you cannot have a Cuban cigar, that they're not competing directly with them. My hope is the Cuban embargo will fall, and that we will be able to import raw tobacco from Cuba and roll it into cigars here in the United States, just like my grandfather, great-grandfather did 100 years ago. I think it's a great tradition that exists in the United States, and especially here in Tampa, and we'd love to bring it back. No one thought the Cuban embargo was going to last 6 months, or certainly not 6 years, and certainly not 60 years.
Right.
But here we are, and hopefully it will fall, and we can roll cigars again here in Tampa with the same leaves that my grandfather and great-grandfather used 100 years ago.
This has been a pleasure, and you guys have been really generous with your time and with helping us source these Bricktoberfest. It's been awesome. Thank you, Drew. Really, thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure, and I hope the next time we do this that you're here in the Cigar Day Tampa with us, so we can record an episode here. And I hope the audio is okay. It's a busy Friday afternoon here. We have
it's perfect.
A cigar rolling class here. We're also making cigars too, and banding them and boxing them, and Eliza's here as well. And so,
listen, Drew, I hope you know what you're asking, because
We're coming.
we're coming, whether you like it or not. I mean, I hope you're not just being nice Midwestern pleasant there, because I'm telling you, we're on the way. I'm sure
Good.
we will be.
Good. Well, we look forward to welcome you here and sharing the centuries-old tradition of American cigar making with you.
We can't wait. We cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be like Uncle Buck moved into the cigar factory.
Great. We'll be ready.
Killer, Drew, we'll let you off the line here, man, but I really appreciate your time. Thank you for sharing this with you. You have made another great stick that we're thoroughly enjoying, and
Thank you.
kind of outdid yourselves here.
I totally agree.
Yep. Can't wait to do this again next year. We should just make this a yearly thing.
That's right.
Do it. Next year we'll send 3 steins, though. I'm very
all
sorry.
right.
Yes.
Sorry,
that'd be
Steven.
fabulous.
We'll fix it.
Blessings to your family, sir.
Hey, thanks
Thank
so
you
much,
all.
Drew.
Thanks, Drew.
Bye.
I'm telling you what, the way it goes with this beer, I mean,
It's delicious.
I don't know if it would be as sweet without it. Again, the last time we smoked coffee, we drank coffee.
That was a night.
We smoked some coffee. We smoked our minds with coffee. It just adds a sweetness to the stick, and it brings out the sweetness of the stick. I've lost the pepper.
Yeah,
Early on, it was really peppery, and I've lost it. Maybe because I don't know if it's because of the beer.
Well, I want to ask you this. So I'm not drinking beer with this. I'm drinking my standard Coke Zero.
But in an Oktoberfest.
In a Bricktoberfest stein. So tease that out, Stephen. When you talk about sweetness, try and paint that picture for me, because what I'm tasting in this stick, and we're about at the same point in the stick.
Yes.
I wouldn't call what I'm tasting sweet. So
Okay.
and again, I don't really know beer very well. So help me understand this.
Yeah, so an Oktoberfest is a real grain-forward malted.
Right?
You know,
You've got
so it's
2 grains in a beer, a hop and a malt.
Yes, and it's
this is maltier.
real grain-forward, almost like a breakfast cereal kind of sweetness to it.
So when I hear malt, I go to malt ball, or
Malt
a
meal,
milkshake.
milk,
Like, is it that type of?
Well, the malt is the type of grain that's in there.
Okay.
It has a natural sweetness, not unsimilar from like when we talk about a sweet hay, a sweet grass, a
Okay.
sweet tobacco.
Okay.
Correct.
It's kind of a beer flavor, but with a sweet note on it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it does it kind of softens this.
Yes, and that's why I think it goes so well together.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that if it was a little pepper forward at the beginning, and because I was drinking the beer, I probably dialed it down a little bit because it was pepper in the back, but it was sweet to the tongue on the front
Okay.
for
Yep.
me. And maybe you didn't get the sweetness on the front because you weren't drinking.
Correct.
A beer
Yeah.
like
This is stayed peppery. The pepper has subdued as I've gotten into the middle part of the cigar, but it's an undertone where at the front it was an overtone. The pepper. So the pepper was very, as you say, very pepper forward. It was the overtone note. And now it's sort of just laying under the foundation, kind of soft. However, on my retrohale, I picked up some floral cedar out of that, which does, I think, kind of mirror the sweetness that maybe you're picking up on. So
Yeah.
I've had it come in waves a little bit.
With the sweetness or the pepper?
The pepper has kind of come in waves. It's come in, it's come out a little bit. Probably some of the beer on my tongue has done that. I thought there was a spot kind of when I entered the second third, which, and again, in classic fashion, Steven's almost done. I'm like at the beginning of the second third.
very,
It's
very
so
true.
true.
It's
so true.
here we are. But as I rounded that corner into it, I did feel like everything just kind of got deeper. The cedar showed up a little bit for me. There was a real leather note on the, with pipe smoking, we call it the room note. I got a lot of leather kind of off the smoke that was coming off of it, which honestly surprised me. I don't always get that leather off of a brick house.
Right.
Like that's not really a term I think I'd ever use on a brick house, even though it might be there.
Same.
Well, let's bring this idea of aging back in then, because I think that's where we're going to find the difference between a standard brick house and this little sweet box of cigars we got in front of us here, because this is really delicious, and also probably why premium cigars that are really expensive, they've spent some time in an aging space that we don't even understand unless we pull out a book and we have the like you have that
Time is
American
money,
book,
man,
right?
Yeah.
You have that American book that describes so much about the American cigar. If I go buy an Opus X, I don't got a book. I don't know why it's what it is. I don't got an
Although
Opus
for
X
that
book.
price,
I would think they would give you a
should get
book.
a book.
You should give
Get a
them a
book.
book, right? So they can understand what the heck they're doing.
I mean, not that I'm telling Fuente how to run the business, but
They've been doing fine without our input.
you want to talk ratings and stuff on that?
I do.
Yeah, do it.
I do. No, 8.75.
Oh, that
I love the no note score.
Do you want me to get into why I did that?
I don't hate hearing
Sure.
from you.
So I loved that the flavor was just a straight, like I said it, well balanced, blended together, well balanced. The overall construction and that what took me to the 75 versus say an 8.5.
Yeah,
it's the smoke, the volume of smoke.
Yeah.
It's just been a fun cigar to smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be like you when I grow up, but I will give it an 8.5 because it's not my I
dropped mine.
It's dropped his cigar. He thinks it's a 6.
Didn't mean to scare you there.
Startled me. You knocked
startled
my cigar out of my hand.
While it is really good and really flavorful and tasty, and I would like it. I probably liked a couple other things slightly better than this.
Yeah, this is not your regular wheelhouse flavor profile.
But it's really good.
But it's good.
For being outside of my wheelhouse, it is really good. So I'll give it an 8.5.
I'm same spot. I'm 8.5. What I can't get over on this stick is the construction quality. I was actually like, it's just a well-made stick.
Yeah.
And for me, that 8.5 comes on construction. I actually think it's a pretty solid value. I mean, it is a big Churchill, and I have not smoked a Churchill a lot lately anyway, and this is a big one, but this has been an enjoyable smoke.
Yes.
This is a solid, like, this is not a 90-minute stick.
No, we've been out here for 3 days.
We're working on 2
Yeah,
hours.
no, honestly, Steven, when you crack that box open, like, it's a super Churchill.
Yeah,
a Churchill is good size, but it's pretty much 7 inches as your standard Churchill.
Yeah.
This thing is just a 1/4 inch shy of 8 inches.
Yeah. It's noticeably longer.
Is
it now?
I wasn't trying to be weird.
But you did it. Well, we thank everyone for being with us. We really hope you go out and pick yourself up at Bricktoberfest. You will need to look it up on the internet, find a place that's sourcing those for you.
It's limited supply,
If
folks.
you're lucky and you're one of the first few people getting in, you can get yourself a beer stein to go along with it if you buy the right amount. We highly recommend that.
Yeah, get it today. 1,400 10-count boxes made.
Right.
That's it. 1,400, 140,000 cigars, and we've already burned 3 of them.
Yeah, so we're not sorry that we burnt up
Not
part
at all.
of the options
No.
for you, but we really appreciate it, and we look forward to our next stick together.
Yeah, hey, let us know what you think about your Bricktoberfest or your Brick House on our Reddit, subreddit Burnt Offerings.
Love it. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks again to Drew for joining us and spending some time with us today. And thanks to Uniontown Brewing for the delicious drinks. And thank you all for listening today. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Burnt Offerings. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform and let us know what you thought of the show.